So everybody today wants to know how to build muscle naturally. Is it possible? Can you do it? Or is it just for people who take steroids, for the enhanced guys? Well, yes, it is possible. You can build muscle naturally. But the thing is that you need to know what you're doing and you need to be patient. So today we have Milos and my son, and he is going to help us understand what natural bodybuilding is all about, because Milos has been natural from the day one. He's 25 years old, 95 kgs, ripped, always been lean, and I hope that you will understand and apply his advice and his example to yourself in order to build bigger muscles and burn fat. So Milos, can you tell us about your beginnings? When did you start training? When did you get involved in sport? How old you were?
Yeah, first things first, it's great to be on the channel with you, speaking with you. It's been a long time coming. So yeah, my beginnings were with football. I played football from when I was, as far as I can remember, until I was about 16. And then I used to go to the gym with my dad just to hang around, watch him train clients. And then one day when I was 16, I said, Dad, I want to train with you and I want to start doing weights. And he said, let's do it. So I started training then around 3 times a week, really just figuring things out, getting my form down. That's the number one thing the big man's always stressed, that is the most important, is form. So it took me a while training 3 times a week, learning how to use free weights, barbells, dumbbells, machines properly, cables, everything.
Can you tell us, how did you group the muscles? What was your training system like?
Yeah,
3 days per week means you're training every other day, like Monday, Wednesday,
Yeah.
Friday, or any other combination. But you have 4 days off, 3 days on, all in non-consecutive order. And can you just tell us, how did you group the muscles?
so starting out, my split was chest and back. Let's say day 1, chest and back together. Take a day off after, then do legs, take a day off after that, and then have a day for shoulders and arms, and maybe some abs, something else, and then a day or 2 off and repeat. So that usually worked out to about 3 a week.
So when you started, I think you were around 16, you were around 70 kgs.
Yeah.
And applying 3 times per week, only 3 times per week, Milos has changed, as far as I remember, from 70 to 80 within a year and a half, even 82. So 10, 12 kgs in a year with training 3 times per week and every muscle once per week. So this is something that you should remember, right? Especially if you are just beginning, if you are starting with bodybuilding. So can you quickly take us through the exercises for your muscles, and what were those main exercises that actually made you explode like that? Like he changed. Like, I remember when his mother came one day and she said to me, "Oh, what happened to him? Look at him. Is he taking some steroids or something?" I said, "No, he's not. He's just eating and training as he should." And it changed. So guys, it is possible. You can change as well. Just follow the advice. So what did you do? Your main exercises, please explain to us. Let's say chest and back, then legs, shoulders.
So it wasn't fancy. It was very essential elementary training. So big compound movements. So chest was dumbbell or barbell press. So I would do flat and incline, and then I'd go for a machine press of some sort, maybe some that's a bit more of a decline motion. Then flies either with dumbbells, with a machine, or with the cables. And that was it for chest. Again, it's the basics, but it's those compound movements, especially the presses, that I think were what just changed me completely, because you're activating so many muscles. You're activating the whole muscle group, as well as your triceps, your front delts. So I think it's those, I really believe it's those big compound movements that really boosted my development that
So
early.
you train chest and back, as you said. Can you tell us about back? What made your back explode? Because his back was probably the muscle that changed first. I remember him sitting down in his room writing something, and I walked in. It was summertime, and I'm looking at him, and I was like a proper V shape. I'm like, oh my god, what happened to you? So how do you do that? What exercises did you do?
So now that I'm remembering our first few sessions, he always said, do pull-ups. And I remember the first time I tried doing a pull-up, I couldn't even do one. And
that was in Rimini when we went to Italy
yeah.
on holiday.
So
and we were in that guy bodybuilder's gym, you remember?
That's it.
Harley Davidson outside.
That's it. So
And Milos, I showed him how to do pull-ups with elbows out, wide grip, pull yourself with the back. Because everybody is doing they lift themselves some funny ways with hands up, forward or something. No, if you want back, the arms have to be out, grip has to be wide, because this is the angle that latissimus dorsi actually receives the stress, because it's positioned like that. But tell us.
I couldn't do one. And then he said, just every time you train back, just start with pull-ups. Even if you can only do 2 or only do 3, just start. And then session by session by session by session, eventually, you go from 2, you go to 4 the next time. And then you struggle a bit, you make it to 6 and so on. But I think without pull-ups, I would not have developed my back the way I did. And it gives you that strength to then perform other exercises with free weights much more efficiently and with a lot more effort and more weight. So my back workouts were pull-ups, then a wide grip or close grip pull down on the cable, a bent over row using free weights, so either a barbell or dumbbells, and then a seated row using the cable, either like generally a close grip. Again, it's elementary stuff. It's nothing fancy. It's not some funny little exercise you see on TikTok, stuff like that. It's just the basics.
So what about legs?
Legs, again, bread and butter, squats, leg press. I didn't do much leg extensions. I do now, but starting I didn't. I just focused on my squats, leg press, walking lunges, and then hamstring curls, and a lot of calf raises. Calves, for me, very stubborn, so I really need to hit them a lot. I found that out from quite young. So again, very basic, but effective and essential.
Okay, what about shoulders and arms?
Yeah, shoulders. I'd have a shoulder press using dumbbells. If not dumbbells, use a machine, either plate loaded or, there's loads of shoulder press machines. Lateral raises with dumbbells. There's also machines for lateral raises, but
we are talking about 3 times per week in the beginning.
Yeah. So dumbbells, I was really. That's an exercise that a lot of people get wrong. I'm lucky to have his guidance, and it did take me a while to learn those properly as well. And I think it's such an important exercise for your shoulder development. And then arms, basic bicep curls with dumbbells or with a barbell. Triceps was push downs, overhead extensions, and I enjoyed doing dips as well, which either machine dips or just body weight tricep dips. Yeah.
So, guys, I just want to highlight something that was very important that actually made the biggest change regarding a beginner, a natural beginner. The biggest change was actually that training system wasn't overwhelming. It's 3 times per week. So there's a lot of time to recover. But also, you need to understand, you need to recover from something. So that something has to be intense enough to stimulate growth. Why am I saying this? Because I see youngsters, beginners in the gym, just walking for first time or first week in the gym. They're already doing some single cable lateral raises, biceps, some positions. They're stretching themselves, they're squeezing the legs. They do some cable squats, some God knows some hip thrusts. And I mean, this is not going to take you anywhere. If you want to grow muscle and burn fat, if you want to be a bodybuilder eventually, but in the beginning you just want to increase your muscle mass, lean muscle mass, you need to stick to the basic compound exercises because they are the only ones that will stimulate growth because of the amount of stress, the amount of muscle damage, the amount of metabolic stress, mechanical tension that is necessary for you to change. So he changed, he put 12 kgs in a year, naturally because of the selection of these compound basic exercises that stress your muscles more and better than any other exercise. So
just to add to that, it's you know, especially when you're a beginner, total beginner, and you're just starting, you need to learn technique, and a lot of weight training at that early phase is balance too. You know, you're shaky, you can't seem to figure out how to push the weights in a uniform way properly. That's all essential to your development, and with practice, with repetition, you drill that in. And the best way to achieve that, you know, mind-muscle connection, to learn the proper form, you're gonna have to do those more complex compound exercises. There's no point really wasting your time on, you know, more isolated movements or, like we said, some more advanced techniques. Again, because at such an early stage, that those compound movements, so like when you do pull-ups, for example, when you do lat pull-downs, you're still incorporating your biceps in the movement. And at that early on, when you're still growing, when you're young as well, it's just everything's going to explode. And you want the core of your training to be those compound movements.
So this was beginning. I think Milos trained like this for a year and then slowly switched to 4 days per week. So this is where he is, 4 or 5 times per week. And this is what he's currently doing, this training system. So can you tell us now about how many days and what is your split, training split nowadays?
Yeah. So nowadays my split is 4, if I'm lucky, 5 a week, but generally 4. But it's the same principle of each muscle group once a week. So day 1 will be chest, day 2 legs, day 3 back, and day 4 shoulders and arms. Now, I do experiment, I switch things up every now and then just to see and, you know, find out if something might work for me a bit better. So I might do chest with triceps, then legs, then back with biceps, and then a whole session dedicated to shoulders where I can maybe do a few more movements if I feel like I'm lacking some development with shoulders, or throw in some other exercises, abs, whatever.
So can you tell us what number of sets are you doing for large muscle groups, and what number of sets are doing for smaller muscle groups and also the number of reps per set. Let's say for chest, how many sets do you do in average per your session? If you're doing 6, 7, 8, 10 sets, as many think naturals can only do that, or maybe you're doing more than that?
So for big muscle groups, it's 16 to 20 sets per session, and I still manage to have my sessions last between 45 minutes to an hour. So again, that's a myth.
Yeah, because a lot of people say to me, oh, you are advocating high number of sets, but this is only for enhanced. Now, guys, you have a man in front of yourself.
Yeah.
I remember the other day you came from the gym and you said, oh, I did 10 sets of pull-ups and then I did bent over row and something. Oh, I said it was an amazing session. So how can a bodybuilder or natural athlete like you do so many sets and still be alive? I mean, explain that because
it's down. That's down to how you train as well.
Yeah.
So the way I train is I do not go to failure, and that's for a number of reasons. The number one reason for that is I try to avoid injury when I train. So I'm not going into the gym to, be insanely strong or train for some superhuman strength. I am strong, but that is just a byproduct of how I've been training consistently over the last however many years. So unfortunately, a lot of people I know, friends, people I've been to the gym with, especially natural people, I've seen torn pectoral muscles, torn deltoids, all kinds of joint injuries, elbows, wrists, knees. And a lot of it is just people really pushing themselves past their limit. And I don't know, for one reason or another, is it because they've seen a pro training a certain way? Have they seen some video on YouTube where you've got people just doing insane weights, insane numbers of sets and just really blasting their bodies? But for me, it's important I still train intense. I might be 2 or 3 reps below failure in every set. But I really just try to focus on correct form. Again, lifting medium to heavy weights. Again, if in times where I have gone to failure, it affects my volume, because then the next set I can't do as effectively. I feel gassed out. I feel like my central nervous system is finished and I can't recover from that set. So then I'm not able to do more sets, and then as a result, my volume suffers. So I train for volume and I train for intensity, and that the best way to achieve that is to train within your means while still pushing yourself. But for me, definitely not training to failure every set.
Okay, can you tell us about legs? What do you do for legs?
So legs, again, not much has changed. Squats and leg press are the bread and butter. Nowadays I do throw in leg extensions. I vary sometimes between lying down hamstring curls and seated hamstring curls. For calves, I do standing calf raises, and I also now do seated calf raises. And again, the central exercises to legs have stayed the same.
How many sets and reps for legs?
So reps, again, 8 to 12 is always a sweet spot for me, but I do find I really find something special in pushing the reps a bit higher, especially when it comes to squats or leg press. I respond really well to that. So I sometimes will go up to 15, maybe even try to go to 20. Again, it comes down to I'm training to feel it in my muscles. So I don't want to come off of a leg press machine and feel like my knees are about to explode. Like the same thing with squats. I don't want to leave the squat rack and feel like my lower back's about to pop out. So again, I'm training within my means. It's still moderately heavy, so medium to heavy weight. But I've found that pushing the reps up with legs, especially, you know, as a natural, legs are quite difficult to get that mass with. So that's really proved effective for me.
What about back?
Back, again, so I start every back session with pull-ups. They're very tough to do, very fatiguing. Also, they work in a way where as you progress, as you build muscle and you inevitably gain mass and weight, the pull-ups become harder too. So I've found that they're always a very demanding exercise for me. I put them at the start of my session, then I'll do a wide grip, lat pull down, sometimes a close grip, and then again, bent over rows, really, really important exercise. Dumbbells, I enjoy a better range of motion with dumbbells, but I do use the barbell too. And I do a seated row, as I said before. I also do extensions for the lower back, which I've felt really, for me, that gives me a lot of stability. I feel like it improves my core strength as well. But those elementary basics have stayed the same for back.
Okay, now, what about number of sets and reps for back?
So again, 16 to 20 works for me. And reps, 8 to 12 is just a sweet spot.
All right, so it seems that everything upper body is 8 to 12 and legs are going up to 15. For legs, I think you should try soon to push it up to 20, because that may be the next level for your progress. But as I always said, one step at a time. So follow your feeling and your instincts. And if you feel, go higher in reps. Doesn't have to be higher in weight, but reps. That will increase your time under tension and will make a massive difference when you do it. You will see the difference is immense and is immediate. Everybody.
Well, that's another thing when it comes to training style is, and you know, avoiding injury, reducing risk. I always preferred to up the reps before I up the weight.
And this is what I always talk about: training and laboring. So if you are intelligent and if you understand all these things, you will be going to the gym and train particular muscle group and have them as ends and the weights as means, instead of having the weights as ends and your muscles as means. That's laboring, like unloading lorries or something. But unfortunately, things are upside down now for most of them. So what about shoulders? Can you tell us again exercises, number of sets and reps?
Yeah, shoulders again, it's some form of overhead press. So that would either be with dumbbells or with a machine. A lot of lateral raises. Rear delts as well. And then upright rows also. Shoulders, I aim for 10 to 12 reps for most exercises with shoulders. That seems to work for me.
And sets is again 16 to 20?
16 to 20, yes.
All right. What about biceps and triceps?
Biceps and triceps, I'd say 10 sets usually does the trick for me. They're not, for me, they fatigue very easily, especially if I'm really hitting them right. And I try to go for 8 to 12 reps also with biceps and triceps. Biceps, I'm doing dumbbell curls, occasionally barbell curls, or using the bar with the cable. And then triceps, always push downs, loving overhead extension, tricep extensions as well. I feel an amazing stretch there. With
Yeah,
triceps.
you've done properly, but
Yeah.
I haven't seen many people doing it properly. So you can see in this video clip how Milos is doing that. And that's something that pay attention to. This is the best exercise for triceps, by the way.
Yeah, skull crushers also, and then dips if I'm so inclined.
So guys, what is your takeaway? What can you take home, as we say, from what Milos just said? So some basic principles that you have to take from his experience and results for somebody who's been training 6-7 years and who is 95 kgs of lean muscle. The principle number one is that you train muscle once a week. Principle number two, you train 4 or 5 sessions a week. All right? Principle number three is that you do 16 to 20 sets for big muscle groups and 8 to 12 sets for smaller muscle groups. And principle number four, you do 8 to 12 reps for upper body and anywhere 10 to 15 reps, as he said, for quads. I personally suggest up to 20, but this is Milos's experience. And as I always mention, you have to find the best way for you. So take all these advices and try to find out what works for you. Now, why is this important? This is important because a lot of naturals are commenting on my channel, sending me messages and saying, oh, if I don't train muscle twice per week, they're gonna disappear. Only professional bodybuilders who are on steroids can do it once a week. So wait a little bit. If somebody who is enhanced trains muscle once per week, right? You who are not enhanced, you want to train twice per week. That is not going to happen. It doesn't make any sense. How are you going to recover? Oh, but they said if you do up to 10 sets and then you split them twice per week, is better than to put 20 sets for a big muscle once per week. Oh, really? This is the same as I say to you, all right? When you have your breakfast, 4 eggs for breakfast, I say to you, okay, eat half of your breakfast now and then come again in an hour to eat another half. It just doesn't make sense. When you do something, you have to complete the mission. When you do your training session, if you train your chest, stimulate that growth and let those chests grow. Why did he grow? Because he trained muscle always, all his life, once per week and never twice per week. So these are the takeaways from you. So Milos,
I mean, I've experimented a lot, so of course I take his advice, but I've tried things too, and that's something I tried and did not last long with, training muscle group twice a week. I didn't know where my head was at. I was walking around like a zombie. I couldn't focus on my studies. It's, especially as a natural, I mean, we were speaking earlier about how, you know, testosterone and growth hormone are the two most essential hormones for muscle growth and staying lean also. And you know, as a natural, you can't add a surplus of that to your body. So you need to, you know, the responsibility is on you with your lifestyle and whatever adaptations you can make to your recovery, your sleep, how you eat and how you train. Those are the only options you have to optimize your testosterone and growth hormone levels. And yeah, recovery, if we're talking about natural versus enhanced, you can't cheat recovery as a natural athlete, as a natural bodybuilder. There's no way around that.
Just to add to that, when it comes to recovery, it's very important for natural bodybuilders as well, especially, to make sure that you sleep enough. So the rest is the time when you grow. This is when you produce your growth hormone. So if you don't sleep 8 hours per night, it's not good. If you can have a nap during the day, that's very good. Also, try to go to bed before midnight, because this is the last train. After that, you won't be able to produce enough growth hormone, because you're going to miss those deep sleeps and when you
cycles,
actually cycles when you actually produce growth hormone. So if you go to bed at 1, 2, 3, regardless of how long you're going to sleep, things are not going to be very good. Another thing that I want to just mention now is nutrition. You need to eat properly. So we're going to do another video on nutrition, me and Milos. So I'm just going to remind you to stay tuned, because in the next one we're going to talk about nutrition for natural bodybuilders, and there is going to be something very surprising for you, because we're going to be talking about the most effective food for muscle growth and recovery and testosterone and growth hormone stimulation, and also the number of meals, amount of protein, carbohydrates and fats in your diet. But that is coming in the next video. So guys, I hope that you have got a message, that you understood that natural bodybuilding is a beautiful thing to do. Your muscles that you gain, they're going to stay there for life. You're never going to lose them. It's the healthiest option that you can do, but you have to be patient, you have to be disciplined, and you have to be committed. It's much easier for enhanced bodybuilders because they can get away with some, junk food occasionally, having their cheat day, this and that. But if you're natural, that is not going to happen. You have to stay on track. You have to be very disciplined in order to stay lean and build muscle. So I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you did, please subscribe to my channel, like the video, and also send me your comments. And I would like to remind you once again that I've published 10 books, which are ebooks now on my website. You can access it by clicking the link in the comments. And my ebooks are fully loaded with detailed explanation about everything that you always wanted to know about muscle growth, fat loss, most effective training systems and techniques, nutrition, lifestyle change. And also watch this video in which I introduce my other services like personalized training program, personalized nutritional program, telephone consultations, and online coaching for people who live in London, of course, personal training 1-to-1. So, Milos, thank you for sharing with us and helping people understand how it is in reality, how a natural bodybuilder can perform fantastically and develop big muscles. And also, thank you for telling us all your secrets, because now there is nothing left. And yes, guys, we're gonna see you in the next video when we talk about nutrition.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you for watching. Thank you for having me.
Welcome. Good. So guys, until the next video, I wish you all the best.